Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today I'm going to showcase a 1-bar Oakensoul heavy attack build for the Stamina Sorcerer, updated for the Scribes of Fate DLC. This build is capable of pulling over 81k on the parse dummy and is a decent build for group content. Please use these builds as a baseline, as there's many viable gear sets and skills in the game to customize to your preference or situation. Anyways, with that being said, here's the build. So starting off in the character sheet, I have 64 points in a stamina, and I'm running the Thief Mundus. For the race, we're a Dark Elf. I think Dark Elves have some of the best passives for a build like this. For the food, you have like two options. The first one's going to be running Tri-Stat food, so max health, max stam, max mag. Or you can run the Bi-Stat food, which is just going to be stam and health. For potions, since we have Oakensoul and we're a heavy attack build, we're not going to need any potions for sustain. You can run something like a Tri-Stat potion and use it as a pseudo heal or a way to get your off resource back if you need to. So for CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Exploiter, Master at Arms, Weapons Expert, Deadly Aim. Swap out Exploiter for crit damage CP, especially if you don't have access to off balance. For the red tree, Bloody Renewal, Rejuvenation, Fortified, and Balanced Vitality. You can't swap out Rejuvenation for something like Celerity because we don't need this kind of recovery, but that's up to you. For the gear, we're going to be running the standard Sergeant's Mail with Stormmaster combo, One Piece Slimecrawl, and Oakensoul. So bringing down in the main hand, we have a Bow of the Sergeant, Precise with a flame damage glyph. For the head, One Piece Slimecrawl and Divines with a max stam enchant. For the chest, One Piece Sergeant's Chest, Divines with a max stam enchant. For the rest of the body, which is 5 pieces, this is all going to be Stormmaster, Trade in Divines with max stam enchants. And lastly, for the jewelry, 2 pieces of Sergeant's Jewelry, both traded in Bloodthirsty with weapon damage enchants, and Oakensoul with Bloodthirsty and weapon damage enchant as well. For the skills, we're going to be running Daedric Prey, Acid Spray, Poison Injection, Volatile Familiar, Twilight Tormentor, and Greater Storm Atronach. So for the rotation, just cast Acid Spray every other skill, and then alternate between keeping your Prey, your Poison Injection, and your Volatile Familiar up. You can cast Twilight Tormentor if you have an extra cast where you don't have to cast anything when the enemy is above 50%. And then lastly, whenever your ultimate Greater Storm Atronach is ready, you could just drop it. So for closing thoughts, this build doesn't have access to off balance, so it will do good paired with somebody who can bring off balance. I really tried to implement off balance, but there's just no way to reliably proc off balance on a Stam Sorc. Furthermore, we have Acid Spray on here, which is kind of a semi-spammable, considering we do use it every 3 to 4 seconds. If you do need more AoE, you can drop Poison Injection and run something like Endless Hail. And either your Twilight Tormentor or your Poison Injection could be used as a flex spot to slot whatever you need for certain situations. Lastly, I do want to note that I did change the Acid Spray for a few different skills and test them out. Crystal Weapon actually did a little bit more damage, but it wasn't enough to warrant sacrificing all the AoE that Acid Spray can bring. And as always, just some quick gear alternatives. Undaunted Unweaver and Infiltrator could work, but the bonus that they give to the heavy attacks is not better than Stormmaster or Sergeant, so you will lose a little bit of DPS. And on top of that, the 2 to 4 piece bonus isn't the greatest as well, especially Undaunted Unweaver with all the Magicka lines. Infallible Aether can work, it would be okay, but the heavy attack damage you get from it isn't the greatest. And obviously Minor Slayer you can't double dip Minor Slayer, so that'll be redundant. Noble Duelist, it's an interesting one, considering you have to be pretty close. I wouldn't recommend it. It is a good set though. And lastly, Night Slayer would be not a bad choice if you can't heavy attack in succession with something like Sergeant. But other than that, I think Sergeant and Stormmaster would probably produce the best results. And that wraps up the build explanation section. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below or come join our Discord. Link is in the description. I will have a written guide linked in the description for those who would prefer that. And lastly, thank you to my YouTube members. And if you want to help support the channel, please consider subscribing and becoming a member. Feel free to stick around for the rest of the parse. If not, have a good day. And as always, see you in the next one.